In the pitch-black waters of the Eastern Pacific, just past midnight on July the 15th, 2025, the United States launched one of the most daring rescue missions in modern history. The target, a 300-foot behemoth known to intelligence circles as the Ghost Ship, a floating drug superlab producing over $4 billion in meth and fentanyl each month. But this wasn't just a drug factory, it was a prison. Caged inside were more than 500 civilians kidnapped, trafficked or lured with lies, including 160 American citizens. No flag, no country, just darkness and despair adrift at sea. For 2 years, this vessel had evaded justice. Protected by 300 mercenaries, former special forces rogue contractors, and black market killers armed to the teeth with missiles jamming systems and AI-guided drones. Every time US forces tried to approach civilians, were marched to the deck as human shields. Drone footage once captured children holding hands herded onto the upper level moments before a missile strike was called off. Each failed mission added to the ship's legend: untraceable, untouchable, unstoppable. Until now. At 1:05 a.m., a US Navy P-8 Poseidon flying routine reconnaissance picked up an infrared signature in the Pacific, a 300-foot heat pattern too precise to be coincidence. Deep in the hull, chemical reactors were cooking non-stop, leaving a thermal fingerprint too strong to hide. Within minutes, the data hit a secure Pentagon server. Confirmation: 97.6%. The ghost ship had resurfaced. Inside the White House Situation Room, President Donald J. Trump was awakened and briefed. This time, there would be no hesitation. At 2:11 a.m., he signed a direct action order: execute Silent Storm. But this wasn't a missile strike. This was something new. From 3 separate Navy vessels, 30 Ghost Shark II unmanned submarines slid silently into the sea. Their purpose wasn't to kill, but to blind. Each drone, the size of a coffin, carried jammers and pulse disruptors. While they moved, 10 Virginia-class submarines waited below, carrying 300 Navy SEALs ready for insertion. Above 100 stealth drones hovered just beyond radar range, loaded with surgical microcharges and AI-assisted optics. The plan was to dismantle the enemy's awareness before dismantling the enemy itself. By 2:30 a.m., the jamming field was in place. Every signal around the ghost ship was dead. Radar blinked, screens flickered. Then nothing. Onboard guards looked confused, but not alarmed. That was their last mistake. At 2:31 a.m., the sky lit up. A wave of drones attacked both forward and rear towers simultaneously. 38 guards died in 47 seconds. No civilians saw it happen. No damage to the ship. Just silence. Then came the real assault. 10 submarines surfaced half a mile from the target. SEALs emerged like shadows, forming into 5 specialized units. Bridge control weapons, Bay Lab, shutdown, hostage recovery, and overwatch. Using underwater hatches and ballast vents, they entered the vessel undetected. Simultaneously, aerial drones feinted attacks on the upper decks, drawing defenders away from the real breach points. It was misdirection at a master level. By 2:36 a.m., all 5 SEAL teams were in place. Team Alpha stormed the bridge. 16 heavily armed mercs stood guard with infrared gear and smart rifles. SEALs used suppressed MP7s, flashbangs, and a rooftop breach. All enemies neutralized in 42 seconds. Team Bravo infiltrated the weapons bay. It was rigged to explode. Using fiber optic cameras, they disarmed 4 traps before entering. 9 hostiles down 0 friendly casualties. But the soul of the mission was Team Charlie. 500 civilians, many in cages, others shackled to machinery, were trapped in the lower decks. SEALs used flashbangs, thermal vision, and non-lethal hand-to-hand combat. 1 soldier was captured on drone footage, silently disabling 3 guards with a combat knife. Not one hostage was harmed. In the heart of the ship, Team Delta reached the drug lab. 12 massive reactors churned out deadly chemicals. Armed guards stood in a circle. SEALs dropped gas grenades through ceiling vents, breached through the floor, and incapacitated the entire defense force in 28 seconds. Then came the final blow. Team Echo located Raul El Sombra Valdez, the elusive kingpin behind it all. He was seconds from escape through a hidden engine hatch, but his biometric lock failed. Just long enough. SEALs breached the room with flashbangs and flashlights. He surrendered on the spot, paralyzed by fear. From breach to full control, 9 minutes and 32 seconds. By 2:45 a.m., the ship was under complete US control. Mercenaries dead or captured, civilians rescued, not a single SEAL lost. The ghost ship, once untouchable, was now silent still and conquered. Medical teams from the USS Arlington arrived minutes later. On deck, triage tents went up. Victims were treated for dehydration, chemical burns, and psychological trauma. Among them, a retired firefighter from Houston, a single mother from Detroit, a 17-year-old boy from San Diego who had been missing for 8 months. They had endured starvation abuse and forced labor for months on end. What the SEALs found left no doubt: 12 active reactors, 6 tons of precursor chemicals, 300 black market weapons, and 5 encrypted hard drives containing names of over 70 corrupt officials across 5 countries. But the most valuable asset was Valdez himself, captured alive. At 4:13 a.m., he was airlifted aboard a blacked-out Seahawk to a secure facility on US soil. By dawn, the Pentagon issued a cold, clear message: the United States will not tolerate floating factories of death. No ocean is too vast, no enemy too hidden, and no American too far to be rescued. The mission was a masterclass in precision, but it was more than that. It was a statement. The US does not trade innocent lives for easy victories. It does not cower before shadows. It fights silently, swiftly, and relentlessly for its people. In just 9 minutes and 32 seconds, a $48 billion criminal empire collapsed. And for the first time in 2 years, the ocean was quiet. If this story moved you, support the channel with a like, share, and subscribe. Because justice, when silent, must still be heard.